All right, so I'm going to start this one off with Mark Carney spending over $300,000 on a hockey rink for himself. While the majority of people are struggling to pay their bills and afford food, this guy is burning through our tax dollars on idiotic purchases for himself. The level of stupidity with this guy is off the charts. While Carney and the Liberals are destroying the country, Pierre Poilievre is still trying to fix things and saying out loud what needs to be said, especially when it comes to immigration.
The country is divided and we're not able to integrate people at this pace. So in order to fix the problem, we've got to we need to put very hard caps on immigration levels. We need more people leaving than coming for the next couple of years. And we need, so our country can actually catch up. Our immigration policy should invite the right people in the right numbers in a way that puts Canada and Canadians first.
So Pierre is right. The amount of people coming into our country isn't helping us. It's not helping them. We need to close the borders for a long time. When we've caught up with housing and all Canadians are taken care of, then consider bringing people here. It's sad to see that this is even affecting the young people of Canada. Unemployment with them hit around 20%. Not only would employment help them learn a little bit about responsibility, but it would likely help take a small amount of financial burden off their parents.
School is almost out, and so are students, many eager to snag a summer job.
Oh my gosh, I've probably sent out close to 10 resumes for around my area, yeah.
But finding and securing one is proving harder and harder for students across the country. So much so, Ottawa has announced an expansion of their Canada Summer Jobs program, which offers wage subsidies to businesses hiring young people for seasonal work. That comes with a $25 million price tag, a concern for the Canadian Taxpayers Federation.
This is at a time where the government of Canada is spending, tens of billions of dollars just on servicing government debt. So we're always cautious to see more expenditure at a time when, the government every year is adding on a lot of borrowing.
But there's no denying the demand for jobs is being felt here at home. A recent job fair at the Halifax Shopping Centre drew a big crowd.
We definitely saw between 100 and 150 people come out for the job fair, which is significant. We saw anywhere from high school students to certainly university and, younger grads.
But even with help, students say it continues to be a struggle.
In the summertime, it can be quite competitive, and due to my age, it's hard to find opportunities out there to get a paid job.
Another roadblock is finding a job that allows students to juggle other responsibilities.
As a nursing student, where we have a super busy schedule during all summer, and we have clinical hours, so that can make it difficult to work because we're already doing full-time clinical hours as well.
As the national unemployment rate skyrockets, job seekers of all ages are at a standstill.
My little brother trying to find just summer employment, and I have family members trying to find full-time employment that have recently been laid off, and it just seems like mission impossible for anyone to find a job right now.
Young people used to be able to easily find a job in customer service, fast food joints, but the jobs are filled with immigrants. Look at Tim Hortons nowadays. It's not the same as it once was. And their coffee doesn't even taste the same. I've almost stopped going. Maybe once a month I might grab a coffee. All right, so we got Mark Carney caught in just a ton of lies. Lying really seems to be a big issue with the Liberals. Something like this would have been such an easy thing to avoid, unless you're corrupt. All he had to do was sell his assets.
On Friday, we finally got a look at the Prime Minister's many financial interests that he kept carefully hidden throughout the election and about which he told numerous falsehoods during that same campaign. These are what the revelations tell us. One, that Mr. Carney was not upfront or honest with Canadians during the election. He made numerous false statements he would have known were false when he made them. Two, there is a cornucopia of conflicts of interest in these investments, like we have never seen before from a Canadian Prime Minister. Let me go through and document all of these claims one by one. First of all, during the election campaign, Mr. Carney said, and I quote, "I own nothing but cash and personal real estate, and that's not going to change in public life." Well, it turns out, while he said that, he knowingly owned 574 stocks and deferred profits and stock options in Brookfield and other companies. So it was patently and now provably false for him to say he owned nothing but cash and real estate. 2, my assets are now in a blind trust, so I don't know what exactly is in there. That too is false. He must have known what was in that blind trust because he was the one that filled out the paperwork for the Ethics Commissioner to report those holdings. So he knew exactly what was in his blind trust, and he just did not want Canadians to know before they went to the polls. Finally, he said, and I quote, I do not have a connection with Brookfield Asset Management. Well, it turns out that he has continuing stock options and deferred share units in Brookfield Asset Management. And these options cannot be sold, or at least not easily, and we have no reason to believe they have been. So when he said that he had no connection to Brookfield, he was stating a patent falsehood.
So check out the YouTube channel Moose on the Loose. This guy has been digging into all of Mark Carney's businesses and investments, and it shows just how corrupt this guy really is. Every decision he makes is only to benefit himself and the companies he's invested in.
Now, why should we care? Why should Canadians care about this? Well, Mr. Carney has shown in the past his willingness to use his political connections in order to profit himself. For example, he said, let's see here, he gave public endorsement of Westinghouse in the leaders' debate. Westinghouse is a nuclear energy company which Brookfield is invested in. He has announced he's going to spend billions of dollars on modular homes. Brookfield is invested in modular homes. He says he wants to subsidize heat pumps. Brookfield is invested in heat pumps. He says that jet fuel, in the past he has said that he helped influence regulatory changes forcing aviation companies to buy certain kinds of jet fuel that one of his companies was invested in, so that air passengers have to pay more for their airline ticket to subsidize this specialty jet fuel that profits a company in which Mr. Carney had a financial interest.
We could go on with this, but we won't. I think it's pretty clear. He's unable to tell the truth. He only makes decisions that benefit himself. He's a complete disaster of a prime minister. And where are all those elbows up dummies? They've been really quiet lately. I don't know, maybe they're on vacation too. All right, I'm going to finish this video off with a short clip on crime in Canada. The Liberals' catch and release policy is putting Canadians at risk and needs to change immediately. If you could, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing. Drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Canada is run by criminals for criminals. In just the past week, 2 shocking stories have emerged that expose the deep rot in our justice system. The first, a BC man convicted of possessing and distributing child exploitation content, including images of boys as young as 9, was handed a conditional sentence of 2 years less a day. The 54-year-old will be under house arrest for the first 18 months of his sentence, with Wi-Fi access, then bound by a 6 p.m. curfew for the remainder. Why? Because according to Judge Andrew Tam, his collection was relatively modest. The man even admitted to being aroused by the content during his police interview, yet somehow convinced the court he deserved no jail time. Then, on the other side of the country, Peel Police announced the largest drug bust in the department's history, nearly 500 kilograms of cocaine with a street value of $47.9 million seized from transnational organized crime ring. Commercial trucks smuggled the bricks of cocaine over the US border, and 9 people were arrested after a year-long investigation involving the RCMP, DEA, and CBSA. The result? 6 of those 9 suspects are already out on bail. Months of surveillance, border seizures, international cooperation, and it took only a few days for most of the accused to be released back into the community. This isn't justice, it's a joke.